Imagine unlocking a way of thinking that, well, can not only sharpen your financial decisions, but fundamentally change how you navigate life's complexities. Welcome to Book Talk Finance. We're really excited today to delve into some profound financial and, frankly, life wisdom from some truly impactful books. And today we're exploring Poor Charlie's Almanack, The Wit and Wisdom of Charles T. Munger. Now, this isn't your typical investment guide, not at all. It's actually a rich collection of talks and speeches from Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's longtime, incredibly insightful partner at Berkshire Hathaway. And for you joining us, this book talk is part of our ongoing effort to unpack material that can really give you a powerful framework for understanding the world around you. So Charles T. Munger, what a remarkable individual. He apparently had this strong desire for independence, much like the renowned economist Lord John Maynard Keynes. But his insights, they really go far beyond just finance. We're talking about, core principles, understanding what makes people tick, human behavior, and really the continuous journey towards gaining genuine wisdom.
Yeah, and what's compelling right from the start is how the book itself is framed. You have Michael Broggi's introduction, and it reminds us of Benjamin Franklin, emphasizing, reflecting on life's lessons, documenting them, and then bam, to immediately present Buffett and Munger as financial geniuses.
Yeah.
It really underscores the level of thinking we're about to unpack here.
Absolutely. And it becomes clear pretty quickly, just like Broggy points out, that Charlie isn't focused on the usual Wall Street buzzwords or, the flavor of the month. Instead, he just zeroes in on these like foundational ideas that are relevant to pretty much everything we do.
Precisely. His whole approach, it's heavily influenced by what the book calls mental models,
Mm.
and this concept of a lattice work of knowledge that's absolutely key to his thinking. The idea of having this diverse set of mental tools from different fields
Okay,
that
right.
you can just pull out and apply when you're facing decisions.
Yeah. Okay, let's maybe try to get a clearer picture of this lattice work. It sounds powerful. It's mentioned early on that Charlie prioritizes sound life decisions, maybe even above investment decisions. So how does having insights from, say, psychology or history actually lead to better choices day to day?
Well, think about it like this. If we connect this to the bigger picture, imagine you're trying to figure out why a business is failing. With this lattice work approach, you're not just looking at the numbers, the balance sheet.
Right, not just the financials.
Exactly. You might also bring in, say, the psychological biases of the management team. Are they overconfident, anchored to past success? Or you could look at historical precedents. Have other companies failed in similar ways?
Mm-hmm.
You might consider the mathematical probabilities of their success given the market, or even, draw parallels from literature about flawed characters leading to downfall.
Wow, okay.
So this multidisciplinary view, it just gives you a much richer and probably more accurate understanding of what's really going on.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like having a much more comprehensive toolkit doesn't just rely on one tool. The book even mentions Charlie making friends with the eminent dead through studying biographies. What's the real power in that? I mean, reading about dead people.
Well, it raises a really fundamental question, doesn't it? Where do we get true understanding? Munger clearly believed, and I think it's pretty compelling, that by studying the lives, the successes, the mistakes,
The mistakes are important.
critically important. Studying figures from the past, people like Benjamin Franklin, who he clearly admired,
Mm-hmm.
or Adam Smith, you gain these invaluable insights into principles that are, frankly, timeless.
Okay.
It's about seeing these big ideas in action,
Yeah.
within the context of real human lives,
Yeah.
real experiences.
Mhm.
Like the book quotes Charlie saying, you'll grasp economics much more deeply if you think of Adam Smith as a friend you can learn from.
Make Adam Smith a friend. I like that.
It's just a really effective way to internalize these crucial ideas, make them stick.
So it's not just memorizing abstract theories. It's about seeing how these principles actually play out, for better or worse, through other people's journeys. And Benjamin Franklin seems to be a major figure for Munger. What is it about Franklin that resonates so strongly, do you think?
Well, what's really interesting there is the clear parallel you can see between Franklin and Munger themselves. Both were largely self-educated.
Right.
And achieved incredible success across various fields, not just one thing.
Right, polymaths in a way.
Exactly. And Franklin's really strong emphasis on diligence, intellectual curiosity, patience, and just this continuous commitment to learning that aligns perfectly with Munger's own core values that come through again and again in the book.
Okay.
The book really highlights how Munger, much like Franklin, became exceptionally skilled at preparation, at patience, discipline, and crucially maintaining objectivity, staying rational.
Discipline and patience. Yeah, those are definitely qualities that are often easier said than done, especially with money. The book uses a really interesting comparison, I thought, involving the baseball legend Ted Williams. Could you maybe elaborate on that a bit?
Oh, that's a brilliant illustration. Just brilliant. A Munger's practical wisdom. The analogy of Ted Williams, the famously disciplined hitter waiting for pitches only in his sweet spot,
Uh-huh.
it perfectly demonstrates the importance of being selective in investing. Or really in any major decision. You
Yeah.
don't need to swing at every pitch, every opportunity that comes your way.
Right. FOMO is real, though, fear of missing out.
Totally.
Right.
But Munger argues, and Williams proved, you're far more likely to get great results home runs by patiently waiting for those truly exceptional opportunities, the fat pitches as they call them. And then when they appear, you act decisively, with conviction. But it takes tremendous discipline to just sit tight and do nothing, sometimes for long periods, until those prime opportunities show up.
That's such a clear visual. Wait for the fat pitch. It's about having the patience for the high probability scenarios. And Charlie also seems to have this knack for focusing on what not to do, avoiding errors. That quote, all I want to know is where I'm going to die, so I'll never go there. It's incredibly striking, isn't it?
It really is.
What's the benefit of thinking like that, this kind of negative thinking?
Well, if you connect it to the bigger picture again, Munger frequently used this principle of inversion, basically approaching problems by thinking in reverse. Start from the end.
Okay, how does that work in practice?
So instead of asking, how can I succeed? You ask, what are all the ways I could fail?
Mm.
By identifying all the factors that lead to failure or, undesirable outcomes, you can then actively work to avoid those paths, steer clear.
Ah,
It's about systematically eliminating the dumb options, the bad squares on the chessboard, as the book puts it, so you can concentrate your energy, your capital, your focus on what truly matters, what has a real chance. It's actually a surprisingly effective way to simplify complex situations and avoid really costly mistakes.
so gain clarity by understanding what you absolutely want to avoid. That's actually a really powerful mental tool when you think about it. And the book also touches quite a bit on the importance of honesty and integrity. There's even that rule, tell the truth and you won't have to remember your lies. How fundamental are these ethical considerations in Munger's overall philosophy? Are they just nice to haves?
Oh, no. What's truly insightful here is that for Munger, ethical conduct isn't just, a matter of moral obligation. It's not just being good. It's also deeply intertwined with achieving long-term success, practical success.
How?
Well, the book recounts instances where Charlie willingly paid more than necessary business deals. Why? Because it was the fair thing to do, the right thing by the other party. And this unwavering commitment to honesty, to integrity, it builds this incredible foundation of trust.
Right, reputation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that fosters strong, enduring relationships, which are just invaluable in business and, frankly, in life generally. Plus, as the book suggests, sometimes taking the ethical high road actually leads to better financial outcomes in the long run, even if it seems counterintuitive short term.
That's a really refreshing perspective, especially today, maybe, when short-term thinking can sometimes overshadow those ethical considerations. Now, the book also discusses the unique culture of Berkshire Hathaway. It describes it as somewhat old-fashioned, doesn't it? Reminiscent of like Ben Franklin's era or Andrew Carnegie's. What are the defining characteristics of this culture that Munger seemed to value so highly?
Yeah, old-fashioned seems right. If you consider the larger context, the emphasis really appears to be on simplicity, a very long-term perspective, and a profound sense of responsibility towards the company's shareholders, the owners.
A sense of stewardship.
Exactly. Stewardship is a great word. The book mentions how many Berkshire shareholders have a huge chunk of their personal wealth tied up in the company. And knowing that, being aware of that, it cultivates this culture of conservatism, of prudence, and a real focus on creating lasting value, not just, chasing quarterly earnings or engaging in short-term speculation. There's also apparently a notable aversion to unnecessary complexity. Like, the book playfully points out their minimal use of consultants and investment bankers. Keep it simple.
Focus on the fundamentals, stick to them consistently, even if it goes against the grain or current trends. And speaking of avoiding trends, the book touches on Munger's, let's say, skepticism towards things like modern portfolio theory and concepts like beta. Why does he find these widely accepted academic ideas to be so, well, unhelpful?
Yeah, that's a really important point about how we think about and how we assess risk in investing. Munger's viewpoint, as the book highlights it, it seems grounded in a really deep understanding of the actual underlying businesses,
The companies
the
themselves.
companies themselves, yeah, and their enduring competitive advantages, their moats. He views volatility, which is essentially what beta measures, how much a stock price bounces around.
Right.
He sees that as fundamentally distinct from genuine risk,
Which is.
which in his eyes is the risk of permanently losing your capital, either by investing in a fundamentally weak business or maybe by paying way too much for even a strong one.
Overpaying is a risk.
Absolutely. So he advocates for a more straightforward, almost common sense approach focused on intrinsic value, long-term potential, quality of the business, quality of management.
So it boils down to truly understanding what you own, rather than just relying on abstract statistical measures that might mask the real risks. And the book also notes something interesting, that some of Berkshire's biggest mistakes, according to them, haven't been bad investments they made, but rather missed opportunities, things they recognized as good, but then didn't act on. Why are those kinds of omissions, those sins of omission, so significant?
What's fascinating there is the recognition that inaction, just sitting on your hands, can sometimes be just as costly, maybe even more costly, than making a poor decision.
Hmm.
The book emphasizes that these opportunity costs, well, they don't show up on the financial statements, right? There's no line item for amazing investment we missed.
You don't see that.
So easy to ignore. But Munger and Buffett, they make a point of reflecting on these missed opportunities, these errors of omission, which really demonstrates their commitment to continuous learning, to getting better.
Yeah.
It really underscores the importance of having conviction and then taking decisive action when a truly compelling, understood opportunity comes along. Don't just admire the problem.
It's a really powerful reminder, isn't it, that sometimes the greatest risk lies in not taking a well-reasoned, calculated risk at all.
Mm.
Wow, this has been such an illuminating exploration into the thinking of Charlie Munger all through Poor Charlie's Almanack.
Yeah.
It's just so clear that his wisdom has these profound implications far, far beyond just the world of finance.
Absolutely. I mean, his emphasis on rational thought, that relentless commitment to lifelong learning, ethical behavior, sound judgment, and of course, adopting that multidisciplinary perspective, that lattice work, it offers incredibly valuable lessons for, well, pretty much anyone striving to make better decisions in all parts of their life.
Exactly. So maybe to try and synthesize some of these powerful ideas for you, our listener, consider these key takeaways. First, really cultivate rationality in your decision making. As Warren Buffett famously said, that was the key to Munger's success. One word: rational.
Just rational.
Second, embrace lifelong learning. Really try to glean wisdom from the eminent dead through biographies. Actively work on building that lattice work of knowledge across different fields. Maybe even, make Adam Smith a friend to deepen your understanding of economics, like Charlie suggested.
I love that image.
Third, remember the power of inversion. Think about what you want to avoid in life. Echoing Munger's powerful statement about knowing where he'll die so he'll never go there. Avoid stupidity.
Avoid the bad outcomes first.
Right. And finally, never, ever underestimate the critical role of incentives. As Munger himself stated, it's perhaps the most important rule in management, maybe in life. Understand how incentives drive behavior.
So crucial.
Exploring material as rich as Poor Charlie's Almanack really provides such a valuable pathway, doesn't it, to gaining a deeper understanding of both the financial world and just the broader landscape of life itself. So if you found this discussion insightful and you'd like to explore more impactful books with us, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more of these engaging book talks. We've got more planned. So keep that intellectual fire burning, never stop learning, and really unlock your own unique path to wisdom and success.